No tax on Bitcoin in Australia? Come on, man, that cannot be possible. But a new court ruling in a specific case might lean it in that direction. Will it be appealed? Will it not be appealed? Who knows? But we'll find out. We'll take a look at that news. And of course, we'll do the usual stuff: gold, silver, platinum analysis, Bitcoin, crypto, some assets, and all that other amazing jazz. Don't know what I'm doing. Someone posted a comment just on one of my videos just before saying, get on with it. I hate all this stuff in the middle. Screw you. It's my show and I'll do what I want. Because if you're watching this on the replay, you use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. Duh. But if you're watching live, well, sorry, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. I tell you, it gets higher every single time. Going to you live on X and on YouTube right now from Melbourne in Australia. But what we first do, of course, while we gather everybody in, the early birds catch the synchronized slurp. That's where you grab a tasty beverage. I grab my tasty beverage. We slurp them synchronously together. The rule is you must do it audibly. I don't care where you are and what you're doing. You slurp your beverage, okay? It is the slurp heard around the world. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Good to see you, my funky people. Love your work. Did you know that the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. We'll do some quick shout outs, etc. First, though, I'd love you to do a couple of things for me. First off, I don't want that. That's not what I wanted. I'll tell you about me, because you always want to know about me. Who the hell am I? Well, look, I am Joe Main. I've been a stacker of precious metals since 2010, a stacker of crypto since 2013. Now I do this weekdaily live show. You can also find me on X right here. You can always tell when I don't do the stuff I'm supposed to do first. Live on X, pardon me, right now. There we'll go. Let's go. No Bitcoin tax in Australia. Then we'll go, what else shall we say today, my funky fam? It's Good Morning Stackers. Yes, it is. I've really got to do this. I got to tidy this SHIT up. We'll go platinum beating silver. That's good. We'll go, what else? We'll go gold and silver analysis. Sure. We'll go plus BTC, we'll go Toshi, we'll go, what else do you reckon, gang? What else do we want to look at today? We'll go ZCBN, sure, why not? ZCBN, and more, that'll do. Why not? Good. Let's do some shout outs, my wonderful people. Space Miner is the first one. Got your emails, mate. Sorry, I haven't responded yet. I also got your emails from this morning, and I think I'm going to take a look at one or two of those that you had mentioned. Yes, that D wave, that Q wave, D wave or Q wave. Woof, that quantum wave one went through it's gone nice, that particular stock, I think it was, or was it crypto? And then you've suggested another one. We'll look at that. Jason Rosana, GM Stackers 999. That's an interesting one. GMS, hi Joe. Hazza, good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Slurp, he says. Drinking coffee, good. Chat is on fire. Chat's always on fire. Hi, Jason. Love you guys. Bullion Day, every shiny day. Mark Florida is here as well. There's less people in. I did set the thing quite early. I wonder why the people are not notified. A lot of people not notified about this one for some reason. Don't know why, but that's okay. Let's talk about the Bitcoin tax thing. You want to start with that? Sure. No tax on Bitcoin in Australia? Come on, surely not. Well, you never know. A recent court ruling, and we'll take a look at that court ruling, not the exact ruling itself, but some news on that, has set a potential precedence for no capital gains tax on Bitcoin. Okay, now whether it gets upheld in appeal or overturned in appeal, we'll see, but there's a potential, at least there's a non-zero chance. So let's take a look at that. Let's see, share the screen. Please follow me on X right now. Can you do me a favor? X.com/it's Joe Main. Follow me on Facebook as well, facebook.com/the Joe Main. And we're going to take a look right here. This is from the Australian Financial Review. This court case could make your Bitcoin profits tax-free. Yes, please. That'd be nice. A judge says Bitcoin is just another form of money, which means it could be exempt from capital gains tax. Now, let me say at the start then, if it's another form of money, then of course, then I imagine it would be then part of income tax rather than a capital gains tax. So capital gains tax. So I wouldn't call it instantly tax-free. It's just a certain type of tax for capital gains. A decision that upends the Australian Taxation Office's approach to taxing cryptocurrency and could open the door to millions in refunds. Wow. If it could open the door to millions in refunds, do you think that the ATO and certain government organizations are going to fight tooth and nail to have this thing appealed and overturned? Sure will. The judgment, made public for the first time here, was made as part of a criminal case brought against a former Australian federal police officer, who allegedly, good old Popo, who allegedly stole 81.6 Bitcoin, then valued at approximately 492,000 Australian dollars. I guess today it would be worth just over $13 million. Victorian Magistrate Michael O'Connell, thank you, Michael, said Bitcoin was property, but akin to Australian dollars rather than foreign currency, shares, or gold. The implication is that just like exchanging a $20 note for two $10 notes, meaning it's fungible or interchangeable, one of the no tax is payable. Right. Okay, I get it. Right. So you're swapping money for money. Right. So on the capital gains appreciation. Again, I would imagine income tax it'd be part of income tax because it's just, regular money or currency, we should say, if upheld on appeal. So if upheld on appeal, which they will appeal, the interlocutor decision could mean taxpayers who paid capital gains tax on Bitcoin transactions are eligible for refunds, collectively worth as much as $1 billion, that's Australian dollars, said tax lawyer Adrian Cartland, who acted as a co-barrier for the defence. Quote, the reasoning totally upends the ATO's view because it was held that Bitcoin is Australian money. That is, it is not a CGT asset. Therefore, acquisitions and disposals of Bitcoin have no tax consequences. Love your work. My friend, ex-AFP cop, the guy who did it, William Wheatley's defense team, argued that Bitcoin is information. All right, specifically a credit entry on a ledger in software. True. Not property and therefore cannot be stolen. Whoa, that's an interesting defense. The ATO has treated cryptocurrency as though it's property, with CGT applicable since 2014. Of course, they would. If they can, they will. Over that period, it has occurred between 500 and 1 billion in CGT and income tax. Cartland estimates, although the ATO said there's no official figures. Prosecutors from the blah, 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 blah alleged that he stole 81.6 Bitcoin from a wallet identified as part of blah, blah, blah. Mere information is not property. That's a really good argument. Mere information, just, it's just ones and zeros on a ledger, is not property. That's a pretty darn good argument. Recognizing crypto as property would either make huge parts of the digital economy into property, such as points in Space Invaders. That's funny. Okay, or likes on Instagram, or would be inconsistent with other laws. That's good persuasion. It might not be a completely logical argument, but it's a persuasive argument. Just because something is valued does not make it property. That's such a this guy's good. Cartland also argued, quote, love and affection are valuable and so are services, but they are not property. Well, as I've said many, many times before, and as I have argued, value is subjective. Obviously, value is subjective. And of course, I say there's no such thing as intrinsic value. Everyone loves to say that gold has intrinsic value, silver has intrinsic value. No, it doesn't, because value is subjective and intrinsic is something that has value onto its own. It's an oxymoron. You can't have it. I don't know why I mentioned that, but it's kind of to that point. In his judgment, Judge O'Connell said there was no case law suggesting crypto was property for the purposes of criminal law, although, and here's the although, it was routinely the subject of restraining orders in proceeds of crime prosecutions. Quote, there have likewise been a number of family cases that treat crypto as property for the purposes of family law settlements. Makes sense? Without addressing the underlying issue of whether crypto is in fact property. Ooh. Quote, I find the argument that crypto has not yet reached a state that is comfortably analogous to a form of money unpersuasive. God, could he not have said that in an easier way? Let me read that. I find the argument that cryptocurrency has not yet reached a state that is comfortably analogous to a form of money unpersuasive. So he's saying he feels like it. He doesn't know yet. He kind of feels like, yeah, it might be comfortably analogous to a form of money. You could have said that in a different way, mate. Quote, in my view, that being a form of money is sufficient to enable Bitcoin to be characterized as property. That is, to use the words of the statute, as other intangible property, and I so rule. Ugh, judge speak annoys me. Wheatley has appealed, the bad guy, has appealed against the decision regarding the nature of Bitcoin as property. Okay, this the specifics of the case means it applies to Bitcoin but not other currencies and only relates to transactions from 2019 onwards. Okay, an appeal is unlikely to be heard until later this year. More than 1.9 million taxpayers have a crypto asset account. Yep. Quote, the tax treatment will depend on how you acquire, hold, and dispose of the asset, the ATO spokesperson Ptoy said. They're just people too, though. Don't blame them. As a general rule for investors, crypto assets are, blah, blah, blah. Cool. What do you think? Post a comment below right now. Do you think that's a possibility? Do you reckon? No tax on Bitcoin, no cryptocurrency, no capital gains tax on Bitcoin in Australia. That would be interesting. Now, obvious things, that would be lovely. But the ATO toy will do as much as they can to remedy that. Okay, so there'll be, if the government can keep as much money as humanly possible, particularly this government that we currently have in power at the moment after the recent election, okay, the one that was been in power for the last 3 years and will continue to be for another 3 years apparently. They'll try and hold as much as they can, of course. So it will get appealed, but maybe not later till this year apparently. Let's see some comments on this. In particular, morning Joe. Morning Jason. Good to see you. Let's see. Any particular comments on the Bitcoin thing? Let's see. Isn't income tax higher? Isn't income tax higher than income tax in Australia? Isn't income tax higher than income tax in Australia? I think you're trying to say something else. Sorry, higher than CGT. It's progressive. So yes and no. And yes and no, because what happens with CGT, anything I say next is not financial advice. Anything I say is my understanding of the current rulings, the current law. So CGT is the CGT goes on to, how does it work? So capital gains. Actually, what are the capital gains? Fuck me. I should have answered. What are the capital gains rates? Good question. They just go on your income tax though. So they go as taxable income. Okay, that's how it goes. I know my own answer. What are CGT rates in Australia? I think it's going to tell me that it just gets treated as taxable income, but then if it's CGT exempt, then it no longer gets put on your taxable income, as my understanding of CGT. What is in capital? Thank you. Very good. Okay. So in Australia, capital gains tax is not a separate tax. Exactly. That's what I thought. But is integrated into the income tax system. The net capital gain from the sale of an asset is added to your taxable income and taxed at your marginal income tax rate. Correct. There is no fixed CGT rate. Correct. So the rate depends on your total taxable income, including the capital gain and your residency status, blah, 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 blah. So exactly what I had thought it was. So it gets added to your total income tax rate, and then whatever that brings it up to, the marginal tax rate, the progressive tax rate, that's what it is. However, if Bitcoin's no longer CGT applicable, then it doesn't get added to your yearly income tax rate, and then you're probably paying, well, you're not paying tax on the Bitcoin, okay? On the Bitcoin gains. That's incredible if it can be. Now, with CGT, though, if you can prove that in Australia at the moment, if you can prove that you've held onto an asset for longer than 12 months, you're only half of the gains, half of the profits get added to your income tax assessment. That's my current understanding, right? So it's 50% off the CGT, if that makes sense. And so this is the argument I've made for a very long time when people have come in, and I know I've mentioned this before, when people have come into me when I've served thousands of people in the bullion industry days. They've said, I want to buy under $5,000 to stay under the radar. And I've asked a pretty simple question. I said, do you pay tax, or do you want to pay tax on it, or do you think you might need to pay tax on it later on down the track? And inevitably some of them go, yeah, of course I do. And some just say no. But some say, yes, well, yeah, I mean, probably. And I say, well, if that's the case, then you actually need to have your ID and your name on the invoice, because if for some reason, and you don't know what could happen, and I'm talking specifically about CGT and precious metals at the moment, if for some reason, what happens if there's a ruling that comes out that says, who knows, the confiscation thing, who knows, right? We are going to confiscate this, that, and the other, or we're going to put an extra tax on it, or we're going to do this and the other. But if you can prove that you held it for longer than a year, we only might do something less, whatever it is. That's why I've said to people, you might actually want to have the name on the invoice, because if later some reason you think you might need to here we go. If you think for some reason later on you might need to legitimize your gold and silver purchases, and you don't have a name on your invoice, you can't walk into the ATO later on and go, I want to legitimize all this, and look, I held it for longer than a year. And they go, really? Where's the invoice? With your name? And you go, here's my invoice. That says in-store guest on it. Where's your name? Right? Anyway, that's a case for actually wanting to have your name on an invoice and wanting to have ID and all that kind of stuff. That's a bit of a ramble. Excuse me while I make dinner. That's okay. So refund 1 billion CGT and pay 2 billion income tax? No, it would just be a refund. You don't get taxed again. No. Space Miner said, I'm guilty of using intrinsic, but yes, you're right. I think it's time to adjust. Yes, my whole no such thing as intrinsic value. That's an oxymoron. Doesn't exist. Jason Ashworth, so with gold, what is the value called of what it costs to mine it and refine it? Is this not the intrinsic value? No, because intrinsic value is an oxymoron. Something that is intrinsic, literally the definition of the word intrinsic is something that has value unto itself, but value is subjective. So if there were no humans on the planet to have the concept, to come up with the concept of value, okay, because it's a concept in the mind, right? Value is not a physical thing, right? We value it. That's it. So without humans on the earth, all the gold in the ground, it doesn't have intrinsic value onto its own because value is subjective. Let's see. That makes no sense. Can't pay tax on that. Imagine the loopholes that will be created, and not for the little guys will be the billionaires that benefit that. Why wouldn't the little guys benefit from it? If I'm buying Bitcoin and I make a capital gains, then I don't pay tax on it. How is that not benefiting me at the same time? Let's see. Cool. That is that. That is that thing. That thing. This is how good I'm doing the show today. You are watching Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. We're going to share the screen once more. That was the Bitcoin tax in Australia thing. We're going to share the screen. Ooh, did I sell out too soon? Give me a second. Let me just check a couple of thingies here. Oh, I did. Give me one moment. I'm going to go back here so you can't see what I'm doing. Did I do? Yeah, no, I'll wait. No, I'll wait. No, I'll wait. I got into something yesterday and then I got out of it yesterday, and then I got back into it this morning. Oh, well, you can already see it right now. I, just out of interest, before I show things, I did a little Trump trade. Yesterday. So before we get to gold and silver and whatever, here's what I did yesterday, just so you know. A little bit naughty. I took a little Trump trade yesterday. I actually bought right here on we had the breakout, we had the retest. It was holding support, and I bought it right where that highlighted little dot is, right there. And then I rode it up to a little bit more, and I took a little bit of profit. And then I just wanted to wait to see what was happening with the thing, and then it triggered my stop loss, but my stop loss was in profit, and made a little bit, which is good. Now, okay, it's heading up again. Good old Trump coin. But yeah, it can still tick over here, so I wouldn't be back into it at the moment. Anyway, that was my little crypto trade yesterday, which I made a little bit of money on, and now I am back out. What's going on with TIA? Oh, that's looking interesting. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'll get to gold, silver, and crypto is looking very interesting as well. Let's do gold and silver and platinum, etc. Because in this morning's post on Gold and Silver Stackers Australia, I did talk about platinum versus silver. That has turned a corner. We'll take a look at that in just a moment as well. Get out of my way. Ready, here we go. Here's today's market update. Here is today's market update. Here is gold. We'll start with precious metals. Gold on the daily time frame, price in USD, 3,300. Okay, 3,300 US dollars. We found exact resistance. No, sorry, not exact resistance, but we found resistance underneath the level we need to cross above. Okay, that's at 3,350 currently. We've found resistance just under there. Nothing to say we're heading down from here. Nothing to say yet we're heading definitely up from here. So we're just in a trading range between here and here in the zag zone. Okay, you're in this zone right here, and you need to make a decision, bro. Where are we going? Are we going in, or are we going under or over? Okay, right there. Make a decision. We break down through there, not preferable. Okay, break down through there, not preferable. Hold that as resistance. Then you at least maybe get a second test of here. Okay, and if that breaks, then look for further downside. Preferably what we want, maybe a bounce off here. Then do that, and then onwards and upwards, probably to a new all-time high in gold. Where we go from there, where we go to, I don't know exactly. And where we go from there, I don't know. I'm just showing you the daily chart. Okay, indecision at the moment. That is gold. Let's take a look at silver. Is at 33 US dollars. Same thing. We're still hovering in between that $33.50 kind of mark and the lovely support that has still been held so far at the 0.386 from this low and this high. I've got a different one. Oh no, from this high and this low. It's holding a support, and that's great to see. Still looking great for silver. It's just hovering under resistance, and that's a good sign. Okay, so good sign for silver. It's not having big moves down, so it's just because of consolidating under resistance, and that's good. So you just want to see that and then do that. Pop off over 35 to 50. We go pretty quickly after that. So far, so good. Not a lot else to say. Hello, Platinum. Good morning, Platinum, once again. Platinum has held up versus gold and silver very well, and it's held up even better. We'll be taking a look at the platinum to silver ratio very, very soon, probably straight after I show you the platinum price. It is just holding very well, okay? Basically hasn't budged since it broke up between over that sort of 990 level, broke through 1,000. Now we're sitting at 1,080, $2.30 US cents. Looking very good. Doesn't mean it's out of the woods just yet. We need it to cross over that 1,120 kind of mark, and then we'll talk turkey. Okay, so cross through here, this decline, and we're looking great. Okay, that's the long-term downtrend line from 2008 all the way through there. We're very, very close. It is so close to breaking out, but as I've said before, it has done this to me numerous times, but we are getting there. Okay, it's looking good. Could we have another week or two back down, test it? Sure, it can happen. Or we come back and down and test a little bit here, but I think we're looking good. Why? Because gold's had its run. Gold broke out of its accumulation zone. Silver broke out of its accumulation zone. Platinum needs to do that now, and it's right there. Okay. looking good. And what is also looking positive is platinum versus gold and silver. We did it in platinum. We broke market structure. Let me show you right here. This is platinum on the weekly time frame. I'll show you on the daily. And what did we do? We broke it on the daily time frame, and it's very good to see. So back here on the 9th of May, roughly 9th, 10th of May, we broke market structure right here. We formed, at least on the daily time frame, we formed a higher low, then we punched through. We've got a little bit of resistance going on here right now. So maybe I would expect that and to come down a bit. We're getting into extremely overvalued for platinum. So this is versus gold, by the way. This is just the ratio. As the number goes up, platinum's outperforming gold. So it has been outperforming gold recently. I would suggest probably a little retest coming. So what you want to see is a higher low forming, another higher low. So higher low, higher high, which is good. Then you want to form another higher low, pick a point where that is, some there, and then we start breaking through there. That would be very, very good for platinum versus gold. Okay, I'll show you on the weekly. Looking good. I mean, nowhere out of the woods in the longer term, but it's looking quite nice. And I have this downtrend line here, don't I? Why do I have that downtrend line? Oh no, that was just to show. That was to show very bullish divergence. Okay, so if I get rid of all this again. Long ways to go. So it doesn't mean we're anywhere out of the woods over the longer term for platinum versus gold, okay? But this is just a nice little turnaround. Having said that, it looked like we might have been turning around here and then we ticked over. So you do have some big hurdles to get over. And as I've showed you previous, I'm showing you Bitcoin gold first, and then I'll show you, Bitcoin. I showed you platinum gold first, and I'll show you platinum silver. You've got a big hurdle to get through, and that's up through here. Okay, then if you can cross through here on the platinum to gold ratio, that's at 0.57, okay, looking really good. Okay, so bit of a hurdle. But let's take a look at platinum. Platinum on the weekly time frame has now broken its structure. It's changed to a bullish, medium-term bullish market structure for platinum versus silver. And you can see here, it crossed it right there. And it just did it. We talked about it a couple of days ago, and then it's just done it. So that's a good sign. You've got a bit of resistance here. So as long as you maybe come back and test, do something like that, and then as long as you break through it again and do that, looking great. Cool. Then you'll be making higher highs, higher lows. On the shorter term time frame, let me get rid of all you. I do have some Fibonacci drawn in. That's that one right there. So on the shorter term time frame, you're coming up to this area of resistance, and you need to see this get gotten through. You have some trapped money around here. You'll probably find some resistance around about here, but anywhere between here and here, you need it to break through. Now, it might find resistance, and this is where, as I said yesterday or the day before, it might just be a little zag on the way back down. So yeah, you could do this and then just tick back over. You could do this and then just tick back over, or some kind of version of that. Sure. If it breaks there again, oh, that's not good. Okay. That just means silver is continuing to massively outperform platinum. Now here's the thing. Both metals could be going up in fiat dollar price. It's just, it might be better to be in one than the other. But if we can get through this zone, then there's a larger picture at play. If you can crack through here, I'll show you the larger picture, and that is this one. I'll go here. This one right here on the monthly time frame. Okay, this is the big picture on platinum versus silver, if this is a bottom. Now, what I like about it, if this is a pivot point right here, you've got this massive bullish divergence playing out, something like that. Higher high, at least here, right? Lower low, higher low on the monthly time frame. That's a bullish divergence. Okay, you've had a change of market structure on the weekly time frame, and then you've got this big level to get through on the larger scale, right? This goes back to the platinum silver ratio, goes back to 1969. It's been as high as the platinum. So platinum was highly overvalued versus silver back in 2003. Clearly platinum was doing a thing and silver was, really lagging. Silver has been killing platinum since then. But if you can turn around and make a higher high here, that's where the big turnaround would occur. So right there, crossing above there on the monthly time frame, that's your, probably I'd call it your bullish change of market structure on the monthly. Okay, then you're setting up for a move up to at least here. You've got a lot of trapped money as such here. Okay, so anywhere between here and here. And then you're looking at, imagine, okay, I'm not saying this will happen, but imagine buying platinum here, right? And then swapping your platinum for silver later on down the track. Now, that's a number of years down the track, okay? So don't just think it's going to happen overnight. That's a 130% increase, right? Buying platinum now, upping your silver stack in that kind of time. Not bad, okay? Not bad at all. In a few years' time, okay? Not bad at all. I wouldn't be playing that shorter term time frame that I showed you just before. That's only like a 30% increase in your silver stack if you're wanting to up your silver stack, buy platinum and wait for the ratio to rise. But once you get buyback amounts for platinum, then the premiums over spot price for the physical silver, it's going to be way less than that 30%. Probably not worth it. I'd be looking at it for the longer term. Okay, and it might not get there. As I said, we could this could be a little zag along the way. You find some resistance and then we start heading down further. Could completely happen. Okay, but at the moment, platinum taking its little time in the sun because it is just starting to come out of its accumulation zone. That is platinum versus silver. I don't want to look at other precious metals, but I do want to tell you that you should be buying from Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, best bullion dealer in all of Australia. You know why, I know why. If you're a new subscriber, you don't know why. Well, 20 or more items in your shopping cart gives you instant free shipping Australia-wide. Express delivery, sign-on delivery, all that secure stuff, fully insured, all that jazz too, except you get it for free. What other bullion business gives it to you for free? I'll let you ponder on that for 1 second. You ready for the answer? None. Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, the only bullion dealer in all of Australia that has ever and might only ever be giving you free shipping when you have any kind of dollar value or quantity value. And it's not a quantity, it's not a dollar value, it's a quantity value. You don't have to spend $5,000 to get free shipping. You can spend as little as the cheapest item on their website. As long as you have 20 of the cheapest item on their website, sometimes that's 1/10 ounce silver rounds or silver coins, which are like, at the moment, $8, $8.50 Australian. You can buy 20 of those. You get free shipping because it's a quantity value, not a dollar value. Okay, or mix and match. Buy 2 of these, 3 of this, bit of gold, bit of silver. As long as there are 20 or more items in your shopping cart, you get the shipping for free. Come on. perthbullion.com.au. I don't need to spruik this thing any more than I should. I need to. I don't need to because it sells itself. That is perthbullion.com.au. Let's take a look at crypto. This is interesting. What's my old Trumpy coin doing? Let's see. What have I done? Have I made a mistake? Oh, nope. And she's back down. Right? I did the right thing. Yeah, and she's back down again. I thought that was going to be the case. A little bit of a dead cat bounce and back down. Okay, I might have to look at shorting that very, very soon. Anyway, let's go to some Bitcoin and crypto, and I will do a chart request specifically for something that one of my lovely subscribers emailed to me this morning. But let's get through the Bitcoin crypto thing first. Cool. Get your chart requests in if you have them, and get your comments and queries and questions in. I will take questions on anything. If it's too personal, I won't answer it. But I'll take frequently asked questions about precious metals or about crypto, or about, anything. You know what I'm into: health, wellness, my sporting activities, which I do. Pew, pew, pew. All that stuff. I will take questions after this stuff. Here is Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Price in USD 1,001. See, I'm still in that mode. $111,593 US dollars, or whatever that is right now. Nearly close to $112,000. I have been saying, now here's some positive. Here's a positive. We have now actually crossed on the daily time frame. We've crossed through the daily potential bearish divergence death knell. Okay, so we're now through there. What am I talking about? Okay, we've now made, if it pivots from here, even if it drops from here, we've made a higher high on the daily, and we've actually made a higher high now on the relative strength index as well. It's a bit divergent, okay? It's not a full-on peak like this one, but technically it is a higher high. You can't say that's flattening out. I wouldn't say. That's pretty close. So there's potential for higher from here. I do want to just alert you, as I've been saying, to that $112,000, $113,000 level. That's that uptrend line right there. That's where it gets ticked right there. And also, as I've been saying, watch out for a liquidity grab around about this kind of area, which it knocks out short positions stop losses. Okay, you got to be careful. And I also did a little mini prediction. I got to go to back to that prediction on that other one. So just watch out here. Okay, just got to watch out. Might be some people are saying, oh look, no, we're good, man. We good. We're rocketing to 125,000, 130, 140,000. Yeah, you could be right. Totally. Just be wary of the liquidity grab just here. I'd say if it doesn't do it in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, then it's probably not a liquidity grab. Okay, on the weekly time frame, looking good. All-time high, man. All-time high. You just need to beware on the weekly, as I've been saying. This is currently, if it paused here, if it goes a little bit higher, that's a higher high on the weekly. Currently, we have a lower high on the relative strength index, so it needs to at least clear here and do that. Okay, that needs to go like that in order to say, ooh, not a bearish divergence. Okay, so really be weary of that. Okay, but on the weekly time frame, that means Bitcoin could push, and this, you never know, this could be the final push, right? This could be where Bitcoin goes to that 130, 140, 150, but then that doesn't tick above. Okay, we don't close above, we start pivoting around about there or lower. That's not good. All right, that would say, okay, bearish divergence and then maybe some lower prices. Cool. Just bear all of this in mind. So far, though, higher highs, which is nice. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Is toying with us. Okay, it gave us a little bit, and this is where I made a little bit yesterday in my Trump trade when we broke through right here on the 4-hour time frame. Was it the 4-hour or was it the one, or was it the daily? We broke through, the 0.618 again. We started crossing below here and I went, oh, alts are going to have a little bit of a pump. I looked at Trump coin. It was looking quite tasty. I took that little move and then it kind of topped out. So I took my profits on that. But we are ticking over. When I would say on the Bitcoin dominance, yeah, look, we're back in this zone right here. Let me get rid of you. Do I need you? No, I don't for the moment, and I don't need you for the moment. That's from that. Why is that there? That's there and there. Okay, don't know what that's about. We are at the top end of the zag zone. As if you bounce from there, no problem. As in, well, if you bounce from there, that's actually not good for altcoin holders. You want this to tank and go down. You want this to go through. Can we continue to do that, please? That would be lovely for altcoin season. Although if you hold Bitcoin and you hate altcoins, you want to see this just go up, baby. Cool. So that's Bitcoin dominance. Hovering at the top end. Others. Oh, we're back above 280 billion. Oh, okay, cool. So here is others, the altcoin market minus the top 10. We had a little pump, and this is why I took the Trump trade. I had a look at others, and you could see it was having a move. It has broken out and closed the day above yesterday, because we've just opened the new day, closed above the 0.618 here from this high and this low. That's a good sign. Okay, closed the day above it, didn't spike and then close in the zag zone. Okay, didn't close in here. That's pretty good. You just need to see that hold right now. As long as that holds right there at that 278 billion, we might be doing this, people, and then that's looking very good for your altcoin holdings. Okay, you would be wanting to take some altcoin trades. As I said, I did a little one yesterday, and it was a get in, get out. Okay, so far, so good. Got to say bullish for altcoins. All right, bullish for altcoins while we're above that $278 billion mark. Cool. So then if that's the case, what things that can we look at that might have some good appreciation? Let's take a look at a few. I'll quickly look at Toshi, of course. I did say ZBCN. Did I call it ZCBN on Twitter? Sorry, X. Sorry, Elon. I did. ZCBN. Edit my post. ZBCN. There we go. ZBCN. Or is it ZCBN? Did I just do it wrong? Let me go back to that. Where was I? No, ZBCN. Cool, now I've got it right. Well, there we're there. Let's take a look at it. Here is ZBCN, Zeebeck Network. Once again, we did look at it the other day. That's yesterday, and I tried to predict where the top was going to be based on Fibonacci. Where did we close at? Oh, looks like I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, we've peaked here at 00307. If that's the peak, then I was wrong. But if we continue up and then tick over, I still have the opportunity to be right. If we are pivoting right here, I need to warn you right now on the daily time frame for Zeebeck Network ZBCN that you have a bearish divergence currently, potentially playing out. Higher high, equal high. That is bearish, okay? Just so you know, if this is the pivot, which we don't know, we would need to start coming down into here to say, oh, okay, that's the pivot, right? If we just rock it up for a little bit longer, that could actually take ZBCN out of bearish divergence, because then you would have a higher high here and then a higher high here. So then you can actually continue onwards and upwards. Cool. So this is not something I would be trading right now. If you're buying for the longer term, sure, just buy on the regular. Sure, if you love the fundamentals of this and you think it's going to, the sky's the limit, great, that's good for you, dollar cost average. But if you're looking for a quick trade, not here. Okay, I'm looking for things to get into right now because crypto is currently still bullish. Okay, let's see. I'm going to look at TIA. TIA is something I might get back into. I have been talking about it. This is Celestia. Okay, it was the darling of the last crypto run, or one of the recent run. Okay, big thing to do with staking and then airdrops. It was all about TIA. If you owned TIA and you staked it, then everyone was like airdropping based on how much Celestia you had. And then people were making bank with airdrops and things. So that fueled the hype. And then it punched this price up of TIA to like $20 or something. Yeah, $21.50. I remember that. I was playing a decently nice leverage trade on that, which didn't end up working well, but that is what it is. We're very low. This is on the monthly time frame. Okay, looking quite low. Okay, let me show you the weekly. Weekly is, could we say that it has bottomed out? What am I looking at here? Can we say, did it change market structure? I think we did talk about it. That's right. My wrong one. I want to look at this one. That's better. I'll look at that one and... yeah, that one there. That's better. What did we notice? Did we have... yes, we had some bullish divergence. I think this was between roughly here and... yeah, okay. I've got all that shite going on. I'm going to get rid of all of you. Right there. That's better. Yes, we did have that change of market structure up through right there, but it was a failed move. Oftentimes from a failed move is a faster move in the opposite direction. As long as we break through here again, I'm going to say we're good. So we had that breakthrough. So I went into TIA, made a little bit on that, and we're back down below. As long as we break through here, and that's at $3. Okay, if we can break through $3 again, that would be a changing back up through the market structure right there. I'd say that's pretty good. That $2.98, $3, preferably here at $3.40 would be good. And then I could say, yeah, onwards and upwards. So TIA is one I am currently watching. If you go to the 1 hour, you can see that it has broken up on the 1 hour time frame at least. So it broke through here. That's kind of your general level. It broke through there, and then we found and tested it as support. So it looks like we'll be making a play for that $3 level. I would expect some resistance at $3. So maybe you want to wait. And if it does that, then you could take a position around about that breakout, something like that. Go away. Oh, okay. Thanks for the alert. All right. I just got an alert. Anyway, that's TIA. That's something I'm looking at. And I just got an alert on Flare. Cool. Let's take a look at Flare Network. Thanks, alert. I appreciate it. We are back above my 2 cent line in the sand mark. All right, this could be something. Thanks, alerts. That's why you have them. I appreciate it. From this low and this high, where did we find support at? And we found it in the zag zone. We found it basically around the 0.5 right there. And now we're out of the zag zone and onwards and upwards, it looks like. So that's good news. Let me take this high and this low. Flare network. And we are nearly out of the woods on flare network as well. So I would say if we can clear right about there at it's about 2 cents, 1.92 cents. That's looking all right. So there's flare. I'm going to pop that on my FLR. Yeah, there it is. I will pop it on my, I'll just watch it. I'll keep an eye out on it. That's looking potentially good. And as I had previously drawn in, you've got this level to watch out for on the larger time frame. See here, it broke the market structure here, and then it came back. Oh, look at it! It came back and tested it. So this is where it broke its structure right there, and it came back and tested exactly. So broke out, false breakdown, second move, broke it, and now we're there. It's looking very interesting. So I could say there's a likelihood that we see some higher movement. And if crypto is going to move higher, then this will just move higher, because everything does. Look at that without the stuff on the weekly time frame. That's looking really interesting. On the relative strength index, we could tick up here as well. Okay, so what kind of gains are we talking about? Is it worth it now? Now I need to go, is it worth the risk? So let's see. I got rid of a few things there. Why did I do that? There was some trapped money there. I want to get rid of you and you. Okay, so let's do some quick. If you got in here, I'm not saying you do. Okay, that's 30% to the zag zone, or the top end of the zag zone. The trapped money is right here, as you can see, here, here, and here. So that's a 60% move. That's not bad, a short-term 60% move. And then after here, I would expect some resistance here at that 3.2 cent move. If you can clear that 3.2 cent move, then you're looking really good for probably an all-time high. Okay, so watch out from here, 2 cents-ish to 3.2 cents. You can make a tidy little num-num in the next couple of weeks if crypto does continue higher. Watch out for resistance there. I'm really going to be watching this one now. Can someone remind me? Please and thanks. Flare Network could do really well, FLR. I'm going to take a look at something now that someone sent me an email on. I'm going to check my email. And this was from Space Miner. Thanks, Space Miner. Next up, if you are looking, now he's saying not financial advice, if you are looking for early, this is the next setup. I'm not going to claim for sure success, but I'm invested in it. Don't spend more than you can lose, of course, but I think we're early here. I've been testing it out for a few months, and I'm convinced ground is being gained. Okay, this is on something called BBAI. You can't see my screen right now. So it's called BigBear. BigBear. On the new, it's a stock. I thought it was a crypto. Oh, wow. Okay, it's BigBear. I love the name. Okay, it's a stock too. It's not a crypto. All right, cool. We're going to take a look at it. BBAI. BigBear AI Incorporated on the New York Stock Exchange. Cool. On the weekly. Let's take a look. It's got the dividends and the earnings and all that kind of stuff too. All right. I will take a look for you all on the on-balance volume too. Interesting. All right. Let's take a look at BigBear AI. This is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. This has been a hot tip from one of my subscribers, Space Miner. Thanks, Space Miner. He said, look, take a look at it. I'm in it, no guarantees, all that stuff. But he's been testing it out for a few months, I think he said, or weeks, and he thinks it's got some goods. I need to find out what it is, what it does. So let me just quickly check that. We're going to do it together. Please follow me on x.com/itsjoemain. What is BigBear AI? BBAI on the New York Stock Exchange. Come on, Grok. Give us the thing. So $3.80 USD at the moment. BigBear Holdings. Okay, BigBear Holdings is a company specializing in AI, really, and machine learning, focusing on decision decision intelligence, for national security, supply chain management, and digital identity. It provides data analytics. It provides data analytics platforms, that process complex data to deliver actionable insights, primarily serving US defense and intelligence agencies, border protection, transportation security, manufacturing, logistics, and healthcare sectors. So it is government sector aimed rather than public sector aimed. Its key products include the Observe, Orient, and Dominate AI modules, which optimize and automate tasks by integrating with edge networks. Okay. Key details, stock price as of May 23rd. Yes, the market cap is 1.12 billion. Had a 1-year range. We'll take a look at the price in a second, but it had in the last year, it had a low of $1.65, a high of $10. We're at $3.80 right now. Interesting. PE ratios, financials, partnerships. Recent developments. Collaborated with Hardy Dynamics on US Army's Project Linchpin to advance AI for drone swarm operations, enhancing secure communication among unmanned drones. Also partnered with Austral USA for AI-driven manufacturing for submarines. Acquisitions. Last year it acquired Pangiam in March, boosting its capabilities in vision AI for national security and border stuff. Challenges. They all have challenges. Faces a security class action lawsuit. Just filed in just this month or last month, alleging misleading financial statements. That's not great. With a deadline for investors to join by, so it's in the midst of a class action lawsuit. I don't like that. Insider sales. Director Dorothy Hayes sold 26,000 shares. She's allowed to sell shares. And a $50 billion DoD budget cut have pressured stock performance. So that's why we're seeing it down. Consensus, according to Grok, is a moderate buy. Okay. With a 12-month price target of $5.17, suggesting 35% upside from where we are right now. Market sentiment from people posting about it on X. Well, if you're going to post about something on X, it's generally going to be bullish. But bullish sentiment exists due to its partnerships with Palantir and DoD projects, with some predicting a rise to $8 to $10 if support levels hold. The bearish views highlight a 66% drop from 2025 highs and ongoing losses with short interest at 21%. Okay. No connection to that. Interesting. Okay, here is BBAI, the price itself. Interesting. I'm going to put this on my look-see, keep an eye on it, because I'm bullish on drones. I'm bullish on drone manufacturing for defense. That's where it's all going. It's all going drone-based, as we know. It's all going unmanned and small drones and drone swarms and things. So there's probably many companies in that space. So is this just one of them? Is it a flash in the pan? I don't know. But from a price perspective, we hit in the 1-year range, we hit $10. But look, since it floated in 2021 April, we had a high of $15.80 US. We had a low of 60 cents. Man, it's pretty choppy, isn't it? Okay, what am I noticing? Anything in particular? I'll do some Fibonacci to see if that helps anything, just to get the lay of the land. Yeah, I mean, you can see some resistance exactly there, but that's where that resistance was. But it's interesting how Fibonacci works out. Resistance there at that level there. Previous support became resistance. Broke up through. That previous level of support became resistance. Bang on there. Okay, so we are on the underside. Okay, at the moment. Needs to crack through $4.30 in order to say about $4.30, $4.50 right there. Let me pop in here for you. Round about, let's call it there-ish. Let's call it $4.40. And if I can, I'm going to put an alert on that for me. Crossing up, please. Great. So I now have an alert on this because I want to know if it breaks this and then holds as support, looking good. If you can do that and then that, right? Looking good for a higher move. Okay, so not there yet. And on at least from this high and this low. Yeah, we're not even in the zag zone at the moment. The zag zone being, got to get through here at least, right? Get through there, and then we'll talk turkey. Interestingly, where did I put my resistance? Right there. So if you can get through that, then you got to get through that $7.20. But yeah, you can still have a move. At least break through that $4.40 is preferable. Other than that, there's nothing yet saying that we're onwards and upwards from here. We've already been extremely overvalued on the weekly time frame. But, we've had a decent decline. You can head back there pretty soon. Anything from a daily time frame. We did change market structure on the daily right here. You can see we crossed that through. We crossed through there. So that's good. And we're above it. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I could see a move up to at least that $5.40 kind of area. I could see that. You could see it up to there, and then you want to do that and then remain a support and then start breaking through there. That's good. Sure. But nothing 100% guaranteed at the moment. Not that I say that anything is usually 100% guaranteed. Is there anything on divergences? Not that I can really see. Everything seems to be quite confluent. Oh yeah, no, this is where you had your bullish divergence, and this is where it changed. Okay. So bullish divergence and a change of market structure. So this is what's happened. Okay. So right here, you can see on the daily time frame, we had lower lows. And then you can see on the relative strength index, not the on-balance volume. That didn't confirm it. So there was only one blinker, but you can see very clearly on the... I hate this fucking thing. Right here. Stop doing this to me. I don't want this to hover. Stupid thing. But you can see very clearly lower low, higher low, and that formed some bullish divergence. And then we broke the market structure right here, and we're just hovering around it. As long as it holds above exactly where we are right now, $3.80, good. Okay, sure. Break back below through here, not good. And I would say breaking through right there at $2.90, that's not good. Okay, so some traders would have done the following. If you're following the principles such as Mastering the Markets teaches, some bright sparks may have noticed the following, where you've got that bullish divergence on the RSI. It comes back and it breaks through the market structure right there, and then some people might have been taking the trade there, okay, and you would have set your stop loss at around about there, because if you break through there, that's changing back down through, and then that just signals no, downwards we go. So BBAI, okay, positive for it, sounds good. I like the bullish change of market structure on the daily, but yeah, got to clear that $4.40, at least get out of there. Preferably I need to see it close up through that $7 mark, but this could be a little interesting trade between here, between 440 and there. It's not much. Yeah, if you do that, if you wait for that, then do that, you could take that off there. Yeah, it's not that huge. But for the longer term, if it can crack through that $4.40 mark, I'd be really interested to take a longer term position on it. I like the drone side of things again, and this is DOD, border protection, security, all that kind of stuff focused. The only problem here, though, is that you're then open to the whims of whichever political party is in the US at the time. For the next 4 years, roughly, 3 and a bit years, it is the Conservatives. They are all about border protection, increasing DOD budgets and things. Although we've seen a decrease recently for some reason in that particular sector, I guess. But they're usually border protection and stuff. So I like it. I just need to see it head over that $4.40 mark, and then we'll talk turkey. That's why I have my alert there. That is BBAI. Do I have any comments, etc., or can we get out of here? Let's see. Julia's JOS. AI Swarm for JOS. Okay, I might take a look at that. Yes, QBTS is the one I'm hot right now, but I'm hopeful the base is in on BigBear. Okay. Flare is looking at a bit of a breakout, but its sister Songbird is dropping for some reason. Okay. Let's see. 0.003 consolidation and back up we go. You could be right. Let's see. Comments, etc. get to you. Final comments. Get your questions in for me if you have any as well. All right, that's all right. Z's, BCN, and that short pullback and tiny window to accumulate and back off, she will go. You could be right. Could be right. Pivot the money. Don't play the swap game. Most of my success was in trading ratios and not selling a metal directly. Nice. Opening Australia up to Bitcoin could swamp the market in a hurry, not just from the people trading values, but from speculative investors as well. Yeah, I mean, look, if that ruling holds up, watch a gazillion people buy Bitcoin in Australia. Let's see. Okay, class all together. Thank you, Mr. Alert. Yes, exactly right. Thank you for the alert, for the flare. Is Moo US or Australian owned? It is not Australian owned. I don't know who owns it. Moo. Speaking of Moo, what's my... Oh, I knew it. My portfolio. Hello. I'm not going to show it to you, but something has just popped. What is that? A couple of things have popped. Oh, that's nice to see. Yes, I thought that would be the case. Cool. That is good to see. What else? Comments? You said that about Flare. Yeah, QBTS. So let me go back to QBTS very quickly because it did have a bit of a breakout. It's on my looksies, is it? QBTS. Yes, here we are. Yeah, so just out of interest, Space Miner was correct. And we were talking about it. It was right breaking it was right here. It was looking like it was going to break out, and it has broken out. So you are correct, Space Miner. We did see some higher prices. Bear in mind, though, bear in mind, Space Miner, you've got a potential bearish divergence still playing out. So I did say with QBTS, this is D-Wave Quantum on the New York Stock Exchange. I did say just beware. You can have some higher highs here, but then a lower high on the weekly. Okay. So just be aware that that can still occur. That's not good news, okay? You come out of here, head up to, 20, 25, 30, 35, but then that would set up a bit of a dip, okay? So watch out for the bearish divergence, though, on there. But that's still looking great, higher than what it was last time. Good on you, Space Miner. Appreciated the heads up. I didn't get into it, though. What else? No, none of us are getting younger, my friend. None of us are getting younger. Time is fleeting. AI swarm for drones, JOS. Okay, JuliaOS. Is it a stock or is it a crypto? Let's go. JOS. Crypto? JuliaOS. I think it's a crypto. Okay. It's on NYSE. It's on Poloniex. Okay. Is this the one you're going to tell us about? Oh, okay. JOS on NYSE. Okay, fair enough. Let's see what it's all about. Just on a subject on sector. Yeah, just on subject with sector progressing with drones and AI. Okay, cool. I'll take a quick look at it. Let's do that for S&Gs, my funky people. Very quickly, we're taking a look at JuliaOS. This is JOS. It's a crypto. It's in the drone space, apparently, aerial drone space. So not for, I don't think for DoD purposes, for defense purposes, but for public purposes, I guess. Interesting. Okay, you've got a massive resistance right here. It has held as resistance a few times, and that's whatever that is. You can find this. It's not traded on any of the major ones. Okay, it's trading on NYSE, which is a popular one, but it's one of the ones that lists basically everything. It's one of the early ones to list the crypto, and then the big boys might eventually, like Binance and all those ones, might get it. But it's currently on NYSE and currently on Poloniex, but the volume on Poloniex is terrible. Okay, so don't worry about it. So this is the NYSE one. We're currently at 1.37 cents. And we have a bit of resistance to get over. If we can get over it, if you can get over right here, 1.5 cents, sky's the limit. Literally sky's the limit. You're in basically undiscovered country. So you've got a previous all-time high here. If this is the only one it's been listed on, it's probably been I imagine it's been a DeFi project. So I might need to take a look at that too. So give me 1 second. Dex screener. And I'll go JOS. because it probably, it would have started off as a DeFi on Sol. Okay, liquidity 13.9. It's a small market cap, but let's have a look anyway. So where has it actually come from? Oh, this is a bit better. Okay, so you can see it actually had a big spike up to 3 cents. Okay, this isn't bad. This is on, I'll put it on log scale. That's actually not much higher. Okay, so yeah, same thing. If you can clear that 1550, man, you're looking pretty good. I gotta tell you, we're really close to it. You have that, what would you call it? The bull flag, I guess that is, the ascending triangle. So you could say classic sort of TA is that kind of thing. That's pretty darn classic. You can't get much more classic than that, where it's that kind of chestnut doing that thing. So watch out for that. That could break. So I would set an alert for that 1.5 to roughly 1.5 cent mark. That could fly after there. Okay, we do need to check the relative strength index. RSI. Doink. Okay, it's on the rise. That's good. There's a slight higher high. We have broken through this little area here. We just broke through it. Okay, whether it remains above remains to be seen. You've got some room to move into extremely overvalued. On the 4 hour, what are we looking at? 4 hour, you can see that we had a little bit of bearish divergence, which has played out. The higher high and the lower high. Okay, this could be looking okay. Yeah. I'm not going to say for sure, but you just want to see it cross that. Cross and hold, by the way, not cross and break and then get a little liquidity grab and then fake you out. Got to be weary of that. So if it does cross here, just got to be weary. Cool. Doesn't mean you buy it on the breakout. You want to buy it on the breakout and a successful retest. So you would do something like that. Watch that. Then if it comes back down to there, and then if it crosses there again, then you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't it wasn't a liquidity grab, and back down we go. Because if you do the following, you break resistance for one of two reasons, either to continue the trend or to grab liquidity. So if it does this and then heads back through there, not grab liquidity. If it does that and then breaks that, golden. Okay, you would take the position very quickly on that, because then you are in not undiscovered country, but basically, look, I mean, let's do some fib on that. From this high and this low, where are we sitting right now? We're sitting at the, I'll get rid of a little bit of this flotsam and jetsam for you. All these brush tools, give me a sec. No, Joe. Remove, and you. Cool. And I'll get rid of you as well. We are sitting right in just in the top end of the zag zone at the moment. Okay. So that's looking all right. You are in here. And this is the last thing I'm going to be doing, so get your comments or questions in very quickly. So you're in the zag zone at the moment, in there. I would say if you do that thing that I said before, do that, you're going to push out of there very quickly. And I would say, look, basically there's nothing really holding it back. There's no buyers. Where are the buyers? It's all sellers. There's no buying here. So basically you cross through here, you're looking good for a new all-time high. I would say that for sure. And where could we go to? Well, sky's the limit. I don't know. You tell me. So if others is going to continue up, I'm really going to be watching this right now. Thank you for the heads up on that. That is going on the watch list. JOS, that is going on my watch list down here too. Not the Poloniex price. Yeah, all right. And I'm also setting an alert. If I'm allowed to, crossing up through here. Yes, please. Yeah, there you go. There's an alert set on that for me. I'd be really interested in that. Just watch that liquidity grab, okay? As long as you don't break back down, looking really good for JOS, JuliaOS. Cool. Final comments, and then we should get out of here. Naka's not a personal question, but a general question. How do you keep all how do you keep all your trading records in crypto and stocks? That's kind of your answer. I'm not really diligent on that. I should be. Look, basically, if you're using, not for DeFi, but if you're using, Binance, using those exchanges, they've got them all there. You can go back in history now. Not not fully in history though, so but you should be keeping wonderful records. Am I a perfect person in the world? No. But you can go back again with Binance or that. You can just check out the history, bought on this day, sold here, and all that stuff. There's also those programs for tax purposes and whatnot. There are those programs where it can scan the APIs for Binance and all those ones, so it can kind of give you a good approximation. Let's see. Cool, great breakdown. Good, watch out for the controversy. I didn't catch that. Definitely a gamble of gain. Yes, okay. Many countries' governments will be in competition with Aussies buying BTC. Fingers crossed more civilians get in. Yes, fair enough. I appreciate the fair and objective reviews. Don't be shy about those warnings. That's the potatoes to the meats. Absolutely agree. 3 months we will return to JOS. You mean accumulate more? You're in it. I can tell you're in it. Let me go grab a drink. Well, please do, because we're about to do the final synchronized slurp. The one at the start, the one at the end, because ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main, brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and I did it again, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. You want to head up to masteringthemarkets.com. Why? Amazing educational courses. Just click on the courses section at masteringthemarkets.com and you can check out their main courses, the 10-week one and the year-long one. Do you want to be a better investor? Do the 10-week course. For the value for money for that, ridiculous. Okay, the year-long intensive course, if you want to be a full-on trader or if you just want to be part of their amazing community, I posted right here this morning about the platinum silver thing, right? And now I'm going to get people, I haven't refreshed it, but I'll probably get some people commenting on there or some likes and things like that. If you want to join the free version of the Mastering the Markets Academy, academy.masteringthemarkets.com, sign up for free. If you want to join the paid section where you get all the alpha, the educator calls, the live trading floor, all the members charts, all the charts that ASX Trader, for example, looks at, Craig and the other Craig and Frank and Jonathan and Tung and Shane, the Elliott Wave stuff. Look at it. It's just ridiculously amazing. I'm showing you stuff that you can't see, right? This is the stuff that you have to pay for. So to give you an example, let me show you right there. As another example, we're unable to process your request. Oh, okay. Don't know why. Cool. Fair enough. Okay, never mind. Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com. You want to be a part of it, okay? Let's go back here and do the final synchronized slurp. And then we'll get out of here because, ladies and gentlemen, you have watched.
Good morning, Stack. Oh, yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, Stack. It's podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the
Let's
groove.
do that.
Synchronized
3, 2, 1, go.
Now we're on the move.
Thanks for watching, funky people. We did everything we needed to do. And Quasar, I wish I could get to your comment. Sorry, my friend. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.